Let's talk about something that sits at the absolute core of good software development. It's not some flashy new tool or framework, but something much more fundamental: coding clean.
Seriously, just think about that for a second. What if, before anyone else on your team even saw your work, your code got a full checkup? Not just for simple typos, but for much deeper issues. Things in its logic, its security, its style. What if it could tap you on the shoulder and say, hey, this little part right here, this could turn into a huge headache later? Well, that's exactly the idea we're going to get into.
So what do we even mean by clean code? At its heart, it's code that doesn't make you want to pull your hair out. It's organized, it's predictable, and it tells you exactly what it's trying to do. It's written not just for a machine, but for the next human who has to look at it, which, let's be honest, is probably going to be you in 6 months. And look, this isn't just some abstract, nice-to-have idea. For any team that wants to build software that actually lasts, this quest for clean code is absolutely essential. Let's dig into why.
Think about your code base like it's a financial asset. If it's messy and confusing, it's a depreciating asset. It just gets harder and more expensive to deal with over time. But clean code? That's a true long-term investment. It's more secure because it's way easier to spot potential problems. It's more reliable because the logic is crystal clear. And maybe most important of all, it's maintainable. You can actually change it and add to it without the whole thing collapsing.
Okay, so how do we actually get there? Clean can feel kind of subjective, right? But it's really guided by a few core principles. Let's break them down real quick.
First up, your code has to be consistent. This just means it looks and feels the same no matter who on the team wrote it. We're talking about the same formatting, the same naming styles. You get the idea. When everything follows a predictable pattern, it takes so much less brain power to read it and understand what's going on.
Next up, it has to be intentional. Every single line, every variable, every function. It should all have a crystal clear purpose. There's no guesswork. The code says what it does, and it does what it says. Simple as that.
Clean code is also adaptable, because software is never really done, is it? It's always evolving. When your code is well structured, it's flexible. That makes it so much easier to add new features or fix things without accidentally breaking 10 other things in the process.
And finally, responsible. This just means the code does its job correctly and ethically. It doesn't have weird side effects or hidden security flaws. It just works. It fulfills its duty and it doesn't cause any trouble. Now, trying to keep all those principles in your head all the time across a whole team, well, it's tough. People make mistakes. That is where automation becomes your new best friend. It's like having a tireless, totally objective code reviewer on your side 24/7.
And the best way to think about it is like this. You'd never send a super important email without running spell check, right? Of course not. These automated tools are basically that, but for your code. They scan everything against a giant list of rules to find potential problems way before they blow up.
And the payoff here is huge. These tools spot issues right inside your editor. As you're typing, it speeds up the whole process. And it means that when your teammates do review your code, they're not wasting time on tiny style issues. They can focus on the important stuff, the actual business logic. And a lot of these tools just work right out of the box. All right, let's stop talking in hypotheticals and make this real. We're going to zoom in on one popular language, TypeScript, and see what this automated analysis actually looks like.
Take a look at this number, 426. What's that? Well, that's how many different individual rules a tool like Sonar checks for in TypeScript code alone. We're not talking about a couple of style tips here. This is a super comprehensive analysis, looking at your code from every possible angle, from little bugs to major security flaws.
And those rules cover a lot of ground. You can see the biggest piece of the pie here is for code smells. These are things that aren't technically broken, but they're warning signs of a deeper problem. Then you've got straight-up bugs, security hotspots that need a human to review them, and of course, critical vulnerabilities that somebody could actually exploit.
So let's zoom in on that biggest category, code smells, and check one out. A code smell is basically a little red flag. It's something on the surface that hints that the underlying design of the code might be a little off. Here's a perfect example. The rule is, don't use the continue statement. Now, why is that? Well, it breaks the natural top-to-bottom flow of the code and makes your brain do a little jump. On the left, you see the code skips the rest of the loop if I equals 5. But look at the solution on the right. It's so much clearer. It just says if I is not 5, then do all this stuff. It's more direct, it's easier to follow, and there's less chance you'll misunderstand it. Okay, so we've been deep down in the weeds looking at a single line of code. Now let's pull the camera all the way back out and see how all these little improvements add up to a massive payoff for the whole company.
And this is the part that really matters, especially to your boss. Clean code is a business strategy. When your code is clean, your developers spend way less time fixing old, broken stuff and more time building cool, new features. You cut way down on expensive rework, and, this is a big one, you drastically lower the risk of a security breach, which can be absolutely devastating. And the numbers don't lie. Companies that use these tools see a real difference. A staggering 98% agree it helps them build clean code. And 80% say they use it to set up best practices and standardize quality across their entire organization. That creates a unified, powerful standard for how things should be done.
And this isn't just abstract data. You don't have to take my word for it. Here's a quote from an enterprise architect, Stefan Euripidu. He says, "These tools were vital for them to benchmark and standardize the quality of their code. It's all about creating a clear, consistent standard that actually gets results."
Which really brings us to the final question, doesn't it? Every single codebase has secrets. Little bugs, hidden security risks, confusing bits of logic just waiting to cause a problem on a Friday afternoon. Adopting a clean code approach with the help of automated tools is the single best way to drag all those secrets out into the light. So, what's hiding in yours?